So the 2026 FIFA World Cup, it's going to be an event unlike anything we've ever seen. Seriously, it's bigger, it's way more ambitious, and it's spread across a massive area. But that begs the question, a huge one, really. How on earth do you manage all of that? Okay, let's get into it.
For the first time in history, this tournament is being co-hosted by not one, not two, but three countries. Yep, Canada, Mexico, and the United States are all teaming up for a truly North American World Cup. And it's not just the number of hosts that's getting an upgrade. The number of teams is jumping from the 32 we're all used to all the way up to 48. That's a 50% increase. We're talking about the largest World Cup field ever.
Now, you know what more teams means, right? More games, a lot more games. The total count is leaping from 64 to a staggering 104 matches. That's incredible for us fans, but wow, what a logistical puzzle for the organizers.
And that right there is the million-dollar question. With games scattered across an entire continent, from the Pacific to the Atlantic, how do you make it all work? How do you keep it from turning into a complete travel nightmare for both the teams and the fans?
Well, FIFA's answer is actually pretty brilliant in its simplicity. They came up with a plan to tackle the massive scale by, breaking the continent down into more manageable chunks.
And the heart of that plan is something called regional clustering. The whole idea is to group the host cities into these geographical zones. This is absolutely the key to cutting down on the insane amount of travel that would otherwise be required, especially during those jam-packed early stages of the tournament. And here's what that looks like. All 16 host cities are split into three regions: West, Central, and East. You'll see the Central region is the biggest one, and it cleverly groups all three of Mexico's host cities, with some major U.S. hubs in Texas and the Midwest. It just makes a ton of sense geographically.
So let's take a quick tour, shall we? Let's meet the cities that make up these regions and really get a feel for the footprint of this tournament.
We'll kick things off on the West Coast. This region is made up of 4 amazing cities, all with a real passion for soccer. You've got Vancouver up in Canada, then you head down the coast to its rival Seattle, over to the San Francisco Bay Area, and of course, Los Angeles, a city that already knows how to host a World Cup.
All right, next up, we're moving into the heart of the continent. This is the biggest of the 3 clusters, the Central region. The Central region is where you can really feel that international partnership. It's got all 3 Mexican host cities, Guadalajara, the iconic Mexico City, and Monterrey. And they're paired up with 3 major U.S. hubs: Houston, Dallas, and Kansas City, which is just an incredible soccer town.
And let's wrap up our little tour on the East Coast, which, by the way, is where all the final drama is going to unfold.
Man, the Eastern region is just a powerhouse lineup of 6 amazing cities. You've got Atlanta and the global hub of Miami down south, Toronto holding it down for Canada, and then that historic Northeast corridor with Boston, Philly, and of course the New York/New Jersey area where the final match will be held.
Okay, so we've seen the what and the where, but let's talk about the why. Why does this regional setup matter so much? How does it actually change the game for the teams trying to win this whole thing? Well, here's the real genius of it. This plan guarantees a true home field advantage for the hosts, at least in the beginning. Canada, Mexico, and the U.S. will each play all 3 of their group stage games inside their own borders. That means minimal travel and maximum support from their home crowds. That's huge.
Now, take a look at this chart. It really breaks down how those 104 matches are split. As you can see, the United States is hosting the lion's share of the games, 78 in total. Meanwhile, Canada and Mexico will each host 13 matches, mostly during that action-packed group stage.
And what that distribution really means is that as the tournament gets deeper, the action starts to consolidate. Once we get past the run of 16, every single match, from the quarterfinals all the way to the final, is going to be played in the USA.
Now let's talk about the 2 games that really bookend this whole event, the 2 that will define the tournament, the very first match and the very last one. The honor of kicking off the entire 2026 World Cup goes to Mexico City. The opening match is set for June 11th at the legendary Estadio Azteca, a stadium just dripping with World Cup history. It's the perfect place to start.
And this is so much more than just an opening match. It's a history-making moment. This will make Mexico the first nation ever to host or co-host the Men's World Cup 3 times. Think about that. It's just a testament to the country's incredible love for the beautiful game.
So, from that historic opening, we fast forward to the grand finale. On July 19th, the entire planet will be watching as a new world champion is crowned on the East Coast at the New York, New Jersey Stadium. So, let's just quickly run through that timeline. It all kicks off June 11th in Mexico City. The very next day, Canada and the USA get in on the action with their first matches. Then things get really intense with the quarterfinals running from July 9th to the 11th, all building up to that one final match on July 19th. So you've got 3 nations, 16 cities, 48 teams, all fighting for one trophy. This whole continent-wide experiment is an undertaking on a scale we have just never seen before. And it leaves us with one heck of a question to think about. Could this bold, sprawling World Cup actually be the greatest sporting event in history? I guess we'll just have to wait and find out.